Seems like every day nowadays there is a VTuber graduating or getting terminated. It feels like not a week goes by where we hear about a company going under because of reasons that could fill a whole list of red flags that this was coming out of nowhere if it wasn't made obvious before. We started out this year with Pomu Rainpuff leaving Niji Sanji and Mel getting laid off from Hololive. I thought at the time this was an unlucky start to the year and it couldn't get worse from here, right? Well, now I'm seeing agencies go under and losing many of their members, to the point some people are getting concerned that this is the start of the end of the VTuber community. But is it really the end, or is this a dark age that we can get out of? Hi, I'm your sunshine degenerate VTuber Yui Tachibana, and we gotta get down to this situation about why these agencies keep shutting down and why these members are not getting the treatment or proper distribution that they have worked so hard to get to the point they got to, where they achieved cult fan bases who worship them and want nothing but the best for them. As mentioned before, we saw the beginning of the end of Niji Sanji, where it was suddenly announced that Pomu Rainpuff would be graduating. At the time, this was one of the most shocking VTuber graduations, and it still hurts to this day. A lot of us at the time thought that Selene Tatsuki was going to be next due to how awful the treatment was towards her, and we knew this even before Doki Bird had revealed just how severe the situation was in that company. Before you know it, she was free from the wrath of the seeking yacht that is Niji Sanji, and her mods even rebelled by sharing the URL to Doki's channel, where her subscriber count went through the roof like crazy. She's recovered most of her old subscriber base at this point, even surpassing many Niji Sanji members in terms of numbers. No doubt you heard this story 1,000 times by now, and a lot of people have explained it a lot better than I can, but I just wanted to bring this up one last time because this is an important landmark in the current history of the VTuber bubble, and adds a major detail as to whether or not the VTuber bubble is bursting. Now, it's from this point that other agencies are getting affected by similar reasons. Small agencies like VReverie have been losing members. In fact, they have lost 6 of their 8 members at this point. Ophelia's ult has made it clear that she was not happy under the management of VReverie. This agency, if you never heard of it, is a small agency out of Singapore, which I've been told has a pretty bad reputation for companies operating out of the country, which could be a factor in the rise and fall of VReverie, but there's also possibilities that the girls hired by them have been held back from doing things that they have wanted to do, but were denied all of it by the managers in charge. This is personal to me because this is a group of talented individuals that I have been following since day one. I was literally hooked by the advertisement that they put up for the first generation that played during Mori Calliope's stream. And sadly, it was not to be, because less than 2 years down the road, the company is literally collapsing in front of us, and it's just depressing to watch. There's also the factor of Project Kawaii, not to be confused with Production Kawaii, losing their 2 members as well. And there's also V4 Mirai losing a member as well. So it goes to show that Niji Sanji is not alone in losing their members out of the blue, and it has been feeling like we can't go a day or a week anymore without seeing this happen. And it cannot be pinpointed down to it's just life. That's just how things go. It is not as simple as that, as made clear by the Doki Bird situation. Here are 3 major red flags I've seen as to why the VTuber community has been seeing the bubble burst lately. 1. The poor management. When you start an agency, you have a responsibility to care for the members that you hire and make sure you are able to afford the operations and economics needed to power and boost the careers of the girls that you're trying to get VTuber fans to subscribe to. Enough commitment and loyalty goes a long way. If you've seen how well an agency like Face Connect has been, you'll know they don't just feel like a group of VTubers doing their job, they feel like legit family and friends to each other. Or even Hololive, being the biggest company out of all the VTuber companies, despite their past history where they have lost a member or 2 every year, they've managed to bounce back from the issues time and time again, and have proven to be one of the more consistently loved companies, and is why whenever a Niji Sanji member is being screwed over, fans always tend to say, you should move to Hololive, or even V-Shoujo, referring to that period where V-Shoujo was essentially taking former Niji Sanji members and re-debuting them under new names and new models. If it's gonna continue, especially if Niji Sanji gets worse, I foresee a major boost for V-Shoujo. Despite the flaws they've experienced with the former cast of Neanders, Silverveil, and Vei leaving the group, and with Fruit being a very controversial figure, for the most part the company remains intact, and has a better reputation than Niji Sanji in 2024. Now, getting to the point of why poor management is a red flag, it's quite simple actually. If you aren't in a financially sound situation or position where you're able to commit to the responsibilities of taking care of your members, maybe you shouldn't be the CEO of a VTuber company at all, or probably give it to someone else who's more capable of doing such a task. Number 2, the VTuber boom of 2020. When the pandemic came to shut down the world, VTubers were blowing up like crazy. Hololive was getting big numbers and other agencies started blowing up alongside it. It was at this point where VTubing was such a profitable trend that there started to exist companies who had the same dreams as everyone else did in this community, and that was to start their own VTuber agency. Unfortunately for many of them, the cracks began to show for the naive who thought it would have been an easy cakewalk to just make it big out of the blue, as if the VTuber landscape was like a charity for the underrated. Instead, it's become like an episode of Oprah where it's like, you get a graduation and you get a graduation and you get a graduation and you get a termination. The harsh truth is, not everyone can afford to be a VTuber. If you're not experienced in rigging your own model like say Suisse or Brie at Cookie Box, you would have had to pay out of your own piggy bank to get someone to start commissioning all these models in order to start your career. You would also have to commit to streaming on a schedule that is consistent to your workmanship and the ethics that you depend on. And then there's the matter of being able to release covers and original songs, as well as being able to put on 3D showcases for the fans to enjoy as a result of the support, loyalty, and profit that you and the members achieve. If you aren't able to allow most of it, if not all, chances are you're going to be a has-been, used-up agency that no one's going to remember the name. They're going to be like, you remember watching Project F? And the other person's gonna be like, Project what? Psh, sorry, I can't remember that one. 3, drama. Okay, so this will always be a touchy subject for many of us. This is one aspect that can be found on just about any platform you can think of, whether it's Twitter or YouTube or 4chan. The VTuber community is no exception. Looking at stuff like the Hogwarts Legacy drama that got people to threaten boycotting the VTubers who played it, and the Rashia and Mafu situation that got people fuming, you can tell the community is not free from all sorts of drama that threatens to dampen the reputation of the VTuber landscape. My motto is this: isn't the VTuber community supposed to be fun? Here I thought VTubers were a way of escapism, to interact with people who may not know you, but deep down inside we are all here for the same thing: to have fun. Where is the fun? It's just so simple to do, to be entertained, support the members, and root for them as they grind all the way to the top. But as it is with life, there's always going to be the bad apple in the basket that threatens to ruin it for us, and it's a depressing fact of life. But this also doesn't mean you shouldn't interact with the VTuber community at all. There are a collection of bad agencies and even bad VTubers. Not everyone is going to be the stereotypical idol image that the companies strive on achieving, and that's fine. The VTuber community is run by versatile and unique characters that are targeted to their own audience, and it's the unity behind that that makes them watching them a lot of fun, and just makes it feel like a second home. So overall, I think right now, the VTuber community is in a dark age, but it is also too big at this point to just straight up fade into obscurity. We may be looking at all these startup companies come and go, but then you have companies like Hololive and Face Connect who have it all figured out and are able to run for years on end and continue to entertain the audience they have gathered. I won't say give up on the VTuber community just yet. Things may look bleak right now, but I want you to know we aren't going anywhere. What do you think of this situation? Is the VTuber community dying, or do you think we'll be just fine? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this video. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, and follow me on Twitter. This is your sunshine, Yui Tachibana, signing out.